BTCI just dropped its latest dividend. In this video, we're going to see what I got from the dividend, if they're on track to meet their stated about 28% that they're hoping for, and if the dividends are trending in the right direction with the Bitcoin price dropping. But as usual, none of this is financial advice. I'm definitely not a financial advisor. Read the sign, guys.
Knowledge.
So let's just hop into it. 16 hours ago, I got my BTCI dividend. I got $143, and I currently had 141 shares at the time of their recording. And I got $1.02 per share, equaling $143 from 141 shares. So I would say that's not too bad. Now, if we look at the current BTCI dividend trend though, we can see this dividend is a lot smaller than the typical ones. We can see this was $1.02, last one was $1.30, $1.34, and actually has been trending downward since May. And we need to ask, why is that? Well, we know about covered call funds is with Bitcoin price. Here we go. Bitcoin has not been doing much since May. We can see it had this large run up, and then it's been falling down. But we know covered calls limit the upside, so BTCI won't actually track as high up well. This is the BTCI chart versus the Bitcoin chart. So Bitcoin really has been chopping, trending downwards, and we can see the dividends shrinking because Bitcoin is not rising in price. So this is actually expected for the BTCI dividend to shrink given the current market state, which is why I'm slowly DCing into these funds. This is not a drop all my investment at once. Maybe Bitcoin reaches like 60,000. I'll drop all my money into BTCI and something like that for a large dividend payer. But we can expect the dividend to shrink as Bitcoin price shrinks because you're shrinking less. Now, luckily, the volatility still keeps you getting large income, but we can expect this dividend to shrink over time as Bitcoin price shrinks. But if we pull up a calculator, it's still on track to do what it's due. So if we got $1.02 per share, let's do that times 12. This is the yearly for the current BTCI price at this recording, 46.19. So divided by 46.19. So they're still at a 26% dividend, which I would say is pretty solid, almost 26.5%. So that's not bad. They're still on track, but you have to be cautious with these funds because my bet with BTCI is it's going to rise over time like the rest of the NEOS funds. You can see QQQQI is actually appreciated in price. If you look at QYLD, you know that's not true. SPY has also appreciated in price over the past 3 years or two, for the past 2 years or so. Now, SPY and QQQ have been doing really well as well, but you can see this does recover from a market crash compared to something like QYLD if you look at that chart. So my hope is with BTCI, this does something similar. I don't know if it'll ever reach this peak, but I hope, we'll have a recovery, maybe return to like $50, $54 one day. And if you get a low cost basis, then it's slowly building itself up again. So overall, I'm happy with the BTCI dividend. If we go to something like TradingView, and we're going to do a look towards the end of the year as well to see which funds actually outperform if BTCI can beat Bitcoin. With dividends reinvested, BTCI, so this is since May, BTCI has actually outperformed Bitcoin in a lot of ways. This is BTCI, this is Bitcoin. If we check a bunch of different dates, BTCI has had a lot less drawdowns depending on your in. So I think BTCI is going to do really well over the bear market, if there is a bear market, over the choppiness that Bitcoin has been looking. I think BTCI is going to do great. So that's why it's my play. So now, 141 shares. I'm going to be collecting a lot more, sharing my dividends with you guys. I think this is a smart play to DCA into over time. I don't think it's wise just to plop a ton of money as Bitcoin is sitting around like $90,000 at the time of this recording. We don't know what's going to happen, right? If this is a bear market, let's say a 50% correction this time, that's still a large drawdown from the time being. But overall, I think BTCI is a win. Do expect the dividends to trend downwards till Bitcoin can recover. If you want to look at why I chose BTCI over other Bitcoin covered call funds, check out this video right here. If you want a deep dive into BTCI, check out this video right here. Peace, guys. God bless.